Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today, it's going to be a little different. I am doing this all by my lonesome because Roza is taking the week off. Between the two of us, she is the one who is the working professional. I'm the one that sits around all day and does nothing but write spec scripts, novels, and draws borderline hentai. So, and she is the one out there, working with kimonos and doing voiceover work and a myriad other stuff that brings the money for her household. The stuff I do does not bring in the money at all. So she has to go and take a breaks every once in a while. And on top of that, she's just generally busy. So I am the one here to do the work of putting together this podcast all by myself this week. Oh, poor me. She'll be back soon, hopefully the next episode. So she is out there doing the actual work. So I figured I would just sit here and comment on some recent stories out of Japan. Speaking of my writing and drawing, if you want to check out what I write, you can find me under the name K.N.Parker on Amazon. Just Google this K.N.Parker, KN Parker. You would find my 3 novels on Amazon, and some other digital reading sites such as Barnes and Noble. Some people like my books. They have a lot of reviews on them. And if you're curious about what I draw, if you want to see my borderline hentai, you can go to Instagram, and I'm under the name Artful Kiyoshi. That's Artful Kiyoshi, like Artful Dodger from Oliver Twist. I'm not as sneaky as that character is. He was exploiting the children of the book Oliver Twist, making them like steal stuff, and so I'm not like that. I'm not shady and sneaky like that. But I thought it was a cool name for my Instagram page. So if you want to check it out, I also have a website under the same name. If you Google Artful Kiyoshi, that's Artful like ARTFUL KIYOSHI, I should pop up in different places under my website or Instagram. So I'm just gonna go ahead and comment on a lot of recent news stories out of Japan. The first story I'd like to comment on is so apparently, according to my friend, who lives in Japan, he's a American immigrant. He's from New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, one of those places on the East Coast in the New York area. I'm not quite sure where, but I sent this story to him, and he got kind of snippy with me because apparently a lot of people was sending him this story. I didn't know that. To me, I'm still on the outside looking in, so we get all these sensationalized stories about Japan. So it's the story about the monkeys attacking people. It's apparently in Yamaguchi-ken, which is Yamaguchi Prefecture. I've never been. I don't know how the monkeys there are. But they are the types that you find in they're the maquettes. You find them in onsens, which is the hot springs. That type of monkey with brown fur and red faces. I've come into contact with monkeys in Japan, but in Kyoto and in a monkey park. And there's a lot of signs that they popped up around. Just said the monkeys are cool. Just don't make eye contact with them, and they'll leave you alone. So I don't know if these people in Yamaguchi-ken were just running around making crazy eye contact with all the monkeys or whatever. But apparently, so I sent this story to my friend, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm gonna try to do my best impression of my friend. He was like, I don't want to see this story about the monkeys over there. This is all in Yamaguchi-ken. I live in Tokyo. What are you gonna do? I don't see any monkeys. So apparently, all his family members, all his friends from the States were sending him this story. So he was getting all this. I didn't know that. I was just trying to, make conversation. Actually, he does not sound like that. He does not sound like, Andrew Dice Clay. For those of you who are too young to know who Andrew Dice Clay was, he was or I guess still is, but a comedian who just did a lot of racist stereotype comedy. A lot of hickory dock, something about an Asian guy's cock or something like that. That would be the punchline. So, but my friend does not sound like that. he sounds. I'll try to do a more accurate, an accurate impression of him. He sounds a little more, a little nicer than that. Oh my God! Enough with the story. Oh my God! OMG! Enough with the story. He sounds a little more like that, more like the coffee talk lady from another really old reference, and nobody will get. But but apparently a monkey gang who apparently is still on the loose. Apparently, I thought there was like one. I read a different story. I think it was an older story that said like there was like one monkey and one monkey was executed. Which is sad for a monkey's a monkey. He's an animal. He doesn't know. He's just going around like trying to live his life, and then we go around and we like kill him. He was, apparently he was him and a gang of monkeys were going around to various houses, climbing up to like second or third stories or whatever, getting into the houses and attacking people. So in my mind, when I first heard this story, I'm revolution minded. So I think we need like a revolution in this country, America, another one. But so I saw this and I was like, yes, yeah, the monkeys they're rising up and they're gonna like start a revolution and take back their land or whatever. So when I first read this story, I was rooting for the monkeys, but then I heard they were like attacking children, trying to steal like a baby and attacking mothers, and I was like, hey, okay, I'm not on board with the baby stealing, the kidnapping, but I'm on board for the monkey revolution in general. But so like things like food and like leaving food in traps wasn't working. So then that made me think like, so it's not about the food. They just want to take back their world. And I was on board with that. But no, that was not the case. They're attacking babies and kids and stuff like that. So not great. But I'm still not against a monkey revolution. If they want to take back their land, or at least the extremely rural place they're living, because apparently in Yamaguchi can. They are. This story on Live Science supposes that it's probably because of the changing demographics of the rural areas of Japan, where there are not so many people out there anymore, and so the monkeys are kind of like realizing there's nobody out here. Let's go and take back our land. Is what I think. That's what's in their mind. So I could be wrong, but my imagine is a very wild imagination. So I thought they were just gonna like just come back Planet of the Apes style with like weapons and just start murdering us. That still might happen. It still might happen though. So I still might have my dreams come true. No, apparently that's not the case. And they murdered one, but apparently the gang is still out there roving around, and people are like arming themselves with like pruning shears, stuff like that. So that's a very interesting story. I will keep following this story as more comes to light, as if you guys really care about that stuff. Anyway, the next story comes from Sora News 24, which is a popular like Facebook page, as well as a popular news site for like I would say weird and wacky Japanese news or whatever. At least they tend to cover all the weird and wacky stuff that you don't really see anywhere else. Although this next story I want to cover is not weird and wacky at all. It sort of touches on the exploitation of of workers, I guess. It is about apparently there's a swordsmith who wants apprentices to help him, of course, work on making swords. One of the things I like about Japan, or at least I think is interesting about Japan, is I'm not a fan of capitalism. Japan has their brand of capitalism, which is different from our brand of capitalism. But when it comes to working situations, it's just as exploitative, I think, in Japan. But I do like this thing of like you would master how to make one thing for like a very long time, and then you just devoted your life to making that one thing, and that is kind of cool to me. If that's what you want to do. But this apprenticeship, this guy who apparently is getting a kicking on Twitter because he posted the post on Twitter looking for an apprentice. But he wants them to work from 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. 5 days a week, possibly some weekends, for at least 5 years, and get this without pay. So apparently that's how they used to do things in the years leading up to the 21st century. Fine, that's fine. Because back then, apparently, they let you stay there. They would provide room and board, and it sounds like food as well. But this is the year 2022, and we can't just be doing work for free for 5 years without any compensation. It'd be fine. Like, strangely, I think that type of activity, if they were willing to give you a room, if they were willing to feed you, and you were just on site for that long, all right, fine, go ahead, do that, perfect that skill for over like 5 years, 10 years, or whatever. But to do that for free in 2022, that's just exploitation. That's straight up exploitation. And I get the standpoint of the sword maker. He wants to do things the way they used to do it. But you got to get with the times. That's we don't do it that way anymore. Nobody provides you in these capitalist societies. They don't provide you with free housing. And so the person that would do that, even if they were young, so apparently he's encouraging, or at least that practice encourages people to start from a young age. But even in this day and age, young people need to take care of themselves unless they're living at home, which apparently is a thing in Japan, which a lot of people do. But still, it's like to want you to work for 5 years straight every day, like 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes the weekends, without compensation is, to me, insane. The first sentence on the site reads, in order to become a swordsmith, it is necessary to train for more than 5 years under a qualified swordsmith and to complete the preservation of Japanese art swords craftsmanship workshop run by the Agency for Cultural Affairs. Which is fine. 5 years, sure. But give them something to live on, a stipend or something. A stipend's not enough. You got to pay them like a regular living wage. To me, it's just, this guy just has to like get with the times. And if you're having a hard time finding somebody, that's because the time is different. Now is not the same as 1865, where you put somebody up, fed them, and then taught them how to make a sword. These days, you want them to like commute to your place and then not give them any place to stay and not give them food or shelter, and want them to just that takes up most of your working life. And in your capitalist society, you got to take care of yourself, right? So you got to provide compensation. So this guy, whoever this is, you can check the story out on Sora News 24. Yeah, and see for yourself. If you want, if you want to try, if this sounds enticing to you and you want to sign up, please, by all means, go ahead. You will have to find out how to take care of yourself while you're working there, and that's crazy. But good luck to this guy, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of the story they can like. It's a very Japanese story to me. Yeah. Next story I want to comment on, and we'll end it here on this story. It is a story about a shirt that you eat. Sorry, you don't eat the shirt. It's a shirt you wear while eating ramen, and it eliminates staining of your shirts because, I don't know, some kind of technology. I'm assuming it's using that technology that was like a thing maybe 10 years ago, where you could like spray on this thing over your clothing, and like it would provide like a layer of protection where you could like squirt like ketchup or whatever on it, and it would just like slide off. Except this shirt catches the sauce, so it looks like it stains it. But all you gotta do is add water. In the story, there's a video of the guy with this white shirt on. He's slurping ramen. After he slurps the ramen, there's a bunch of stains on his shirt, and he pours water over his shirt. I don't see how you would do that in a restaurant. but there's another video where I guess presumably the same guy just dips his napkin into a cup of water and then just like wipes off the shirt or whatever. Apparently it's not for sale yet. It's just, I guess, they have a YouTube video for show. I guess it's it's proof of concept, but it looks very I wouldn't say promising. It's like a white shirt, like the logistics are like what? Like every time you think of going to eat ramen, you have to like wear this shirt. Then what if you're like in the middle of like a work day, or you're like just hanging out, and you just like the urge to eat ramen comes up, and you're not wearing this shirt? You have to like I guess you just have to brave it, eating ramen without this stain-proof shirt, or you just have to wear it as an undershirt every day. And this, as soon as the urge comes out, you take off your regular clothes, at least the top half anyway, and just you have it at the ready or whatever. That's fun. I don't know. It looks promising. I don't know. I've eaten many bowls of ramen, and yes, it does stain, but for the most part. If you just extremely careful, if you just wear a napkin under your chin, I think you'll be okay if you don't have this shirt. Like I don't know, I'm not quite sure of the demand for this thing, but. Not a bad idea. I think the resources could be allocated to something more important, but in Japan, some people do eat their ramen with gumption. That would necessitate a shirt like this. But if you're one of these people, go ahead, take a look at this story. It's on Sora News 24. Yeah, it's I won't buy it, but you can take a look at it. Anyway, that's all I'll talk about this week. Hopefully next week, if this was very painful for you, Rosa should be back next week to bring you her sultry voice, and we can have another conversation. If this is grating for you, I apologize, but I'm not gonna lie and say I won't do this again by myself. I might do this again by myself, but if you did enjoy it, please let me know by leaving a comment. Please like and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to this on. Leave us your questions, comments, stories, anything you have to offer at Ourjapanpodcast at gmail.com, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.